Welcome to Grounds for Discussion. I'm your host, Patty. Thank you again for tuning in. Tonight, I have Nikkita Edmond with me. Edmond or Edmond?
Edmond.
Edmond. And she is going to share her story, and I'm very much looking forward to this conversation. I think I'm going to learn a lot, not only about Nikkita, but situations that many of us find ourselves in. So with that, Nikkita, I'll turn the camera over to you and have you introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi, I'm Nikkita. I am a sexual assault survivor. I am a domestic abuse survivor, a narcissistic abuse survivor. I am now an advocate as well for domestic abuse survivors. I'm a hospice aide, a bartender. I'm kind of a jack of all trades.
You keep yourself busy.
so
Very
busy.
Yeah. So how you and I met is very interesting that we are now here sitting having this conversation. But we met, was it last fall?
Yeah.
And you came in and handed me a flyer and asked if I would put this up.
Correct, yeah.
And I read it and I said, okay, hang on a second.
Yeah.
We need to have a conversation.
Yeah, we need to talk.
What is all this about? So tell me about that flyer that you brought in that set us on this course to where we are now having this conversation.
Yeah, so I brought in a flyer for the Tiffany Hill Act, which is a bill that was passed in Washington State about a woman named Tiffany Hill, who was a victim of domestic violence. Her estranged husband at the time had violated her order for protection 64 times
My gosh.
in a month. So
that is terrifying.
It is terrifying. And he, quite honestly, she begged the judge to not release him.
That's multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. Was showing up at restaurants where she was at, and her friends and were getting her out of there. But they all knew, including Tiffany, that at the end of the day, if something wasn't done, he was going to kill her. She knew deep down inside that was going to happen. And unfortunately, it did. It happened in the school parking lot when she was picking up her kids with her kids in the back seat.
Oh, no.
He shot and killed her and wounded her mother in the front seat with her kids in the back seat of the car. So that brought up the Tiffany Hill Act. Linda Wilson, who was the original senator, she's now retired from Washington State, was the one that pushed for this bill to happen. And essentially what this bill is it is a bill that allows GPS tracking on abusers that continue to reoffend for OFPs. So essentially, it is a GPS monitoring system for the abuser's ankle, and it allows the police to keep more tabs on them, but also allows real-time alerts to victims if they come into their geo zone. So the judge kind of sets an approximation of how many feet, so whether it's 500 feet, 1,000 feet. And then if the abuser goes within that zone, it sends an alert to the victim, allowing them some time to escape, which I really feel if Tiffany would have had that, she would have known he was there.
Right, absolutely.
Should have been able to get out because he was lying waiting for her to come.
So is there an app then that she would have had on her phone or that?
Yeah, so essentially it's all provided via her phone. So it's an app on her phone and it goes directly to her cell phone to give that alert, which, he'd been waiting there long enough that
it would have alerted.
It would have alerted her. And, inevitably when she was killed, the kids were brought in the school and kind of sheltered away from everything, and the school was put on lockdown. And then he ended up shooting himself in the middle of an interstate. So these kids were left without both parents.
What year did this happen?
This happened in 2020.
Oh my gosh.
So very, very recent.
Yes, for sure. And now the Tiffany Hill Act
is in Washington State. It's the problem with it is that we need to educate our police officers and our judges and our judicial system in order to get them to push this into place. So it's available in Washington State. It's just at a judge's discretion right now on whether they utilize it. It is being utilized, just not as much as it should be.
And do you want to introduce that here in Minnesota?
Yeah, I do. I think when I went through everything, which we'll talk about, it would have saved me from being in fight or flight and always in fear for my life. It would have been a little bit of a protection mechanism for myself and for my kids.
So Tiffany Hill Act, and you mentioned as we were talking through that it would have helped you with what you went through.
Yeah.
Will you share with me and the audience what it is that you went through?
Yeah, so I was married to an airman, and he was very abusive, very physically, mentally, verbally, and a narcissist to a full extent. And we got married in 2020, right before
Oh my God.
right before the pandemic all happened. Like we were supposed to leave for our honeymoon 2 weeks after we got married, and we couldn't because of the pandemic. So very soon at the same time. So we waited, and he was deployed through that time, and very abusive while overseas still, and all of that. And I ended up going on my honeymoon with him in January of 2021, and he tried to kill me on a couple different attempts. I came home with broken bones and battered and bruised, and it was extremely, extremely hard for me. I went through a lot of therapy.
So timeline, this was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
You go on your honeymoon.
Yep.
You were just married in 2020, so very.
Yeah, so we're married in February of 2020, and this happened in January of 2021.
Oh my gosh.
So not even a full year.
So you go on your honeymoon, and it's
not good.
Horrific.
Yeah, so he came home from deployment I would say October 2020. He was gone from May to October because of the pandemic, and he was overseas, and there had been a lot of things happening during that time frame. We were not on good terms when he left because of the abuse, and I've always been a very strong individual, so I was like trying to take my self-worth back at that point, and I had threatened a divorce in October of 2020 because he was loading and unloading shotguns outside my daughter's door at 3 o'clock in the morning.
During this, how old is your daughter?
She would have been, oh gosh, she'd have been 12 at this point.
My goodness.
She was pretty little.
Yeah.
And that was before everything was found out about her. But so he was unloading and reloading shotguns, so I threatened a divorce. I had him be checked in. I had the guns removed from my house, all of these things. And our honeymoon was my last ditch effort to make things work, and I think he knew that. He had promised my daughter before we left that if anything happened to me, he'd take care of her.
Oh no.
Yeah. That was never promised to my son. I have a boy that's 2 years older than my daughter, and he was never promised any of that. And so when Mexico happened, I was told I wanted to press charges. He tried to throw me over a balcony. All of my belongings went over the balcony, and I fought for my life to be able to get home.
And you said you came home with broken bones?
Yeah, a broken collarbone, a fractured thumb. I had bruises and scrapes from head to toe. I was a dumpster fire at that point in time, to put it very mildly.
Yeah. I can definitely see why.
Yeah.
How traumatic.
Super traumatic.
That this is your husband.
Yeah, and he's supposed to love you, and
right.
He's supposed to take care of you, and here he is trying to make sure that I'm no longer living, which was a very hard thing to wrap your head around.
Right.
Very, very, very hard to wrap your head around.
Even sitting here talking to you, I can see in
your
eyes.
I have like a trauma response.
Yeah.
I like shake.
Yes.
When I talk about this. And it's not that I'm cold. It's very much like the anxiety of all of it, even post 5 years. Like, this is what I do. I talk to victims, and I help victims, and I talk about my story because it's relevant. People's stories matter, but the trauma responses are still there no matter how much therapy you do.
Right. And I can see that in your eyes.
Yeah.
When you guys came back, did you come back to the same household, or were you?
So we lived here in Alexandria, a couple blocks away, and so he stayed the remainder of our honeymoon, and I flew home. And so, like, during that time frame, I got home, I went to the doctor, got checked out, cast. I had one arm in a sling and the other arm in a brace, and I came home to the house. I had my family members actually come home. My brothers from out of state came home and helped me pack and move because I clearly was not able to do that. I was not allowed to lift anything over a pound. So they came home, And I had filed for my divorce at that point in time, my order for protection, everything was granted. But because he wasn't home yet, I wasn't able to serve him. So I got an email that morning from him because he'd shut my phone off when I flew back to the States, because what better way to control you than to give you no access to people. I had to go buy a new phone. It was a whole thing. I went outside to smoke a cigarette because I was super stressed out. And his truck was sitting outside the house, which instantly sent me into panic mode. Like, this man just tried to kill me, but here I am, like, standing outside. I went and got my cousin and was like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. Like, I was froze. The whole theory about, like, people freeze when they're put in a situation like that is extremely accurate.
You did.
Yeah, I froze. I couldn't move. And so my cousin went and stood in front of the car, and my other cousin, my girl cousin, Taylor, she called the police, and they were able to serve him. But the cops in town wanted me to let him in the house.
What for?
Because he wanted his belongings. But when we were packing, I found a loaded revolver hidden underneath my nightstand and a 9mm hidden in his son's room, completely loaded. There was nothing in that house that he needed right then and there. I think if the cops would have let him in, I wouldn't be here. I think most of my family would have died that day, quite honestly.
Gosh.
Because as soon as we left, I told the cops, like, no, I have an order for protection. I'm not letting him in this house. He can come in when I leave. Mm-hmm. And within 5 minutes after we left, he was in the house, and the cops were calling me wanting to know where his guns were. And I said, just like the rest of them, they were dismantled, unloaded, and they were brought to a friend's house. When he's mentally stable enough, he can go get them. But until then, that's where they're going to stay for my safety and my kids' safety. Mm-hmm. Because at that point in time, like, who knows what he would have done?
Right.
This is why I say the system's broken, because in all honesty, like with an OFP, those cops should have never even inquired.
An OFP is
an order for protection. Yeah.
Okay.
They should have never even asked me to let him in the house.
So he goes his way, you go your way.
Yeah. I moved into my parents' house because it's one of the only places I ever felt safe. Mm-hmm. So, and like when your whole world is uprooted like that, what do you do?
Can I ask you how old you were at the time?
Oh God, I was 32.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. 32. Mm-hmm.
So you go to live at your parents' house, and eventually you divorce?
It took me over a year to get divorced. I signed the papers 3 times. And it was, during all of that was the Apple taking of my car and the stalking and like the comments he would send, because this day and age, like, there's apps on our phone that you don't need to use your regular phone number to text somebody. I would get messages like, you shouldn't be driving that dirt bike in your backyard, you're gonna break an ankle. Or you work for hospice, how morbid. I knew exactly who they were from, but I couldn't violate him because it wasn't proven to be his number.
He was using an app to message you and basically sending you, it feels like,
I'm watching you.
Threats.
Yeah, and they are threats. Yeah. Yeah.
That I see you in your backyard.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Feels like.
Yeah, it was very much. So I was very stuck in fight or flight. Like, the trauma response of being there, like, was severe depression. And like, I went through the ringer trying to just get a divorce. And once I got a divorce, then it was pretty quiet for a little while. And then, from there, like, we stem into everything that happened to my daughter, and that just caused another mass chaos from there.
Share, if you will, what happened to your daughter, and however you want to share that.
So, my daughter overdosed on Benadryl 6 months after my divorce was final. So in 2020, it could be the end of 2022. And she was doing a lot of things erratically. Like, she was 13 at that point. Like, 13-year-old girls are a handful, but there were things that I was like, what is going on with her? There is something. So she was drinking and vaping and sneaking out of the house, which is not like her. So, like one day her dad called me from St. Cloud and was like, I've had enough. I don't know what we're doing with her, but something is up. And I was like, that's it. Because we had made therapy appointments for her after the overdose, trying to get her some help. And she wasn't budging on anything. And you could tell something was wrong. So her dad was like, I found another vape in her room. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going to get her. So I went down to St. Cloud to get her. And I was like, we're going to go to the doctor. We're going to go to therapy. And thankfully, the first place I brought her was to therapy. And her therapist called me in at the end of the hour and was like, I need to file a mandated report. And I'm like, which no mother ever wants to hear. I sat there and was like, a mandated report? Like, why? And it kind of turned out that my ex-husband had been sexually abusing her since the age of 9, which that brought a whirlwind of really a lot of things we weren't ready for. So obviously it happened here in Douglas County. So we went directly into the police station. They interrogated my daughter without me present, which is a really hard thing. Most moms, like, I wanted to be there, but they were doing that for my own protection and for hers, because they didn't want her story to be altered in any capacity. And I still had no idea what I was in for. And so during that time frame, she told them everything. And that started the county attorney here, who was amazing, by the way. He was probably the one person that I will say a million times over, he saved her life in a lot of ways. So we started the process, and the process took over 2 years. And he wasn't arrested. He was allowed to just run free and do whatever his little heart desired and stalk people and hurt people. And
so you go from a therapist telling you she needs to file a mandated report,
to like social services, to the police department,
to your daughter being interrogated.
Yeah.
And 2 years he's out
doing whatever he wants. Yep.
and about.
And during that time frame, he was actually dishonorably discharged from the military for doing the same thing that he did to me to a woman in his unit.
Oh my gosh.
And they wouldn't believe me when I spoke. So it was kind of like and her and I are friends now. I've kind of made peace with the entire situation, that it was terrible, but I can help her too,
Sure. Sure.
And we can do this together.
Right, and find...
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to ask, and I don't know. I don't think you ever fully heal.
No.
You are continuously working through the process.
Because there's still, I still have nights now where I wake up with nightmares and night sweats and have to take a cold shower because I need my nervous system to reset.
Sure.
And the idea of, having to go through this at any point in time ever again scares the shit out of me.
Where are things at now with
So he was sentenced to 12 years in prison in 2024. So
very recent.
Very, very recent. And it was like I watched that day that my daughter came out of the courtroom after we had all testified, which was the hardest week of our entire lives. I watched her go in as a very scared individual. And when she came out, she was like a little phoenix. Like,
Aww.
You could see it. Like, she was like, I know this is going to happen and he's going to go away. Which is great. At that point in time, that is what she needed. I'm not sure she'd be where she is right now if he wouldn't have gone to prison.
Right.
I think she'd be terrified.
Mm-hmm.
She was overeating her feelings and doing, like I would too. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
It is a lot.
And being a sexual abuse survivor myself as a small child, I was 5 when it happened to me. I wanted nothing but to be supportive and to help her through this and to get the justice that she deserved, because it was something I never got. And to see her healing and growing, and now she's a junior in high school and planning for her junior prom, and all of that makes my heart super, super happy. But, there's always that fear of like, we just went through the appeals process, which was denied. He
appealed.
He appealed. Mm-hmm. He started in May and wrote out a 26-page paper that was, it was abuse from prison, which shouldn't be allowed. But he literally slandered myself and my parents and anybody directly related to me thinking that that was going to get him somewhere in the appeal process. Because he's innocent, right? You know? That's what they all say.
Right. Denied.
Denied.
So he's in prison for how much longer?
So he's got 6.5 more years. So it'll be 2032 when he gets out. Provided it's good behavior, he'll serve 8, which I think in this case, anybody who's sentenced, there shouldn't be a good behavior.
Sure.
You should sit the entire time.
Sure.
But unfortunately, it's not how it works.
So you've had a lot
Mm-hmm.
happen, not only to you, but your daughter.
Yeah.
And you are working now
Yeah.
to take what has happened to you and use that for
good.
something good.
Yeah. For all the good. Like, I
felt that energy when you came in that day
Yeah.
last fall.
Yeah.
And I could not help but ask the question.
Yeah.
There's something more behind here. Tell me what it is that you are working on.
Yeah, so I've got a lot because I really feel like survivors should help survivors, and I feel like everybody's voice should be heard in every capacity. I feel like we're all shut down and pushed in the closet way too often. So right now, this is very, very new. I started a foundation called Shine the Light Foundation, which is actually a very big tribute to my daughter. Shine the Light was something I always told her when we were going through everything was, through all of this, like, we're going to shine the light and we're going to give him nowhere to hide. Because he's been doing this for 20 some years to women and children, I believe, too. And so,
Nikkita, I have to pause. I don't know if the audience can see, but you've got tears
yeah.
welling up in your eyes.
It's my baby.
Yes,
you know.
this is so heavy. And for you and your daughter to take this.
And like my son too,
very,
because
very
like
powerful.
he abused my son too, but like Dylan didn't come out with that until later, so there wasn't much, not like sexually abused, but he definitely abused my son. So yeah, it's extremely heavy for me, and I honestly I want people to understand that this isn't something that just goes away. Like, you always hear the common question of like, why did you stay, or why did you put yourself in that position, or you know, like, why didn't you get out sooner? Like, people, I'm tired of hearing that, because until you've lived it, you have no idea the emotional, mental, physical trauma your body's in. None. So I started this Shine the Light Foundation because I always told her, we're going to give him no place to hide. We're going to shine the light in every damn corner, and we're going to give him no place to hide, because I'm tired of him doing this to people. So that was one key phrase we always used, and at some point in time, like, I want this to be something that she carries on. Right now, I'm working on very small things, because small things lead to big things in my eyes.
It's a lot, though.
It is a lot.
Yes, you've been through so much.
Yeah.
And now you've started this foundation. It's a big deal.
Yeah,
Nikkita.
it's a big process.
Yeah.
It's you know, my mom's like, I don't know how much more you think you can put on your plate. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna keep trying until, you know. So I want right now to be able to help women and children, whether it's with financing to get into their homes, because we have like domestic abuse advocacy centers, but there's only so much they can do, and their funding is very much tied to the government. We all know how that's going right now. So I want to be able to help them with that, whether it's the financing for a home, whether it's a Christmas toy drive. I actually, this last winter, helped a family that went through a domestic violence situation that the abuser was actually near and dear to me that I didn't know about.
Oh my goodness.
I helped the community get Christmas presents for them, and to help just kind of ease the burden of Christmas, because it's a lot, especially when you're going through all of that. It's a lot. So we did that, and then I want to be able to like do drives for coats and to just help in any capacity that I can. But the big picture idea, which my mom thinks is great, I would love to provide a safe house for these victims to go to, somewhere that is extremely guarded, somewhere that nobody knows about, like, and literally give them a place to start to heal, a place that they feel safe, where they don't have to feel like they're in fight or flight.
When you said a safe place for them to go, I thought of a documentary that I watched, and I wish I could remember what it was because I would share it with you. Maybe I'll dig for it. But it was out in Arizona
Uh-huh.
or California. Someone started a safe house, and these women could come. Some were homeless
Yeah.
after they left a domestic
Yeah.
situation.
That's the scary thing. Most of them do end up homeless.
And they could come into this beautiful homes,
Fully furnished.
fully furnished bedrooms,
Yeah.
and they had structured therapy.
Mm-hmm.
They had like a family style situation where you could come and eat with the other
The
women in
families,
the house, and there was always someone
Yeah.
that had the credentials and the training
Yeah.
to be able to make sure that they mediated the situation and they could stay as long as they need to.
Yeah, so actually, like, my dad has cancer, and we actually had he had prostate
My
cancer.
goodness, girl.
Yeah, I got a whole lot going on. This is the third time in a couple of years, but we stayed at the cancer house down in the cities, which is right by the U of M and down there, and that's kind of where the idea came from for me, because it's locked access in and out, but they had all of these shared communities, and all of these people were gathering and having conversations and sharing their grief and loving each other. And I think that's huge. Like, how better to heal
Then
than
with structure,
with structure
support,
and love.
and
Yes.
love, and understanding,
Yes.
because you are walking
Yeah.
a very like path.
Yeah. And providing the safety for these women and men. I mean, it's not just women. I'm very corrected on that a lot. I refer to it as women because, well, frankly, I feel like it's a lot more, but there is men too. But allowing that safe space for them to go where they're not so worried that what tomorrow is going to bring.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And I have a sneaking suspicion you and I are going to be in contact.
I think so
and
too.
Stay
Yeah.
in communication, because I know if there's something that I can do or my team here can do to assist, we will do that.
Yeah.
Before we got on air, we were talking about, you were sharing a bike run event. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so with the Shine the Light Foundation, I've been like brainstorming, like, how do I really jumpstart this? How do I really get some funding in to help more people? And so it was actually brought to me by a friend that was like, hey, why don't we do a bike run for this? And I work for a bar, Shady's Bar and Grill, and they, as soon as I brought them the idea, they were like, oh yeah, we'll sponsor the food, you can go to our bars, we'll sponsor the music and the events for the rest of the night, we'll help you with whatever you need. So I'm going to do a bike run June 13th. We're gonna start at Shady's Midway at 9:30 in the morning. I don't have the exact route planned yet, but there's going to be a purse giveaway, a designer purse giveaway. I mean, you'll have to buy raffle tickets, an auction, a poker run. I mean, it's going to be big. I have people coming from out of state. Baca, who is Bikers Against Child Abuse, who is very directly involved with us with everything with my daughter. I've sent them a flyer and they've responded. So I cannot wait to see how this goes, because honestly, my heart is thrilled by the response that I've gotten.
Fantastic.
But I'm always looking for like more people to sponsor and send items for the silent auction, or people who just want to donate.
How far away is it Jerry's Bar?
Shady's
from Alexandria.
About a half hour.
Oh, that's
yeah.
it.
So
Okay.
the one that I work at is right off of Highway 71 between Long Prairie and Sauk Center. So if you're coming from Alexandria and you go through Osakis and you take a left at that four-way stop, it'll bring you right to the stop sign, and right there on the right is Shady's.
And they serve food.
Yeah.
Drinks.
They serve everything, and they own 8 different bars.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, they're good at what they do.
So your reach is going to be huge.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
actually,
Yeah.
With them.
With
in
them,
your corner,
with them
supporting
helping me. Yeah, they're going to be a big asset in this and making this jumpstart massive.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It,
And they're like, because I'm always like, I don't know, I'm that shy girl that doesn't know how to accept help sometimes. And so this is a difficult thing for me to be like, let people help you. But I'm learning, because I want this, and I want this to work so bad. that sometimes I got to put my own little pride and ego away and allow people to help. Yeah.
So that's June 13th.
Yep.
And up to that point, are you doing fundraising? Are you accepting donations?
I am accepting donations. I actually started to go GoFundMe for Shine the Light Foundation.
Can we find you on social media?
Yeah, you sure can. So you can find Shine the Light Foundation on Facebook, as well as Nikkita Edmond on Facebook. Both are there. I haven't, Instagram for some reason just won't let me mess with it, but I'm working on it. It's a whole process. So yeah, I mean, you can find me on social media, and if you have questions, feel free to send me a direct message on either my personal account or on the Shine the Light Foundation account, and I will do my best to accommodate. I have victims reaching out every day, and I do what I can to help them now, but the funding would be amazing to just be able to be like, okay, yeah, you need help, let me help you.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
That's the word I use to describe you, literally, as I've spent the last 45 minutes or so getting to talk to you on camera and behind.
Yeah.
You are a powerhouse.
I don't know when I have no quit, my mom says. Like, she's like, when you have your mind made up, your mind is made up. Like, that's what you're going to do.
What do you feel? And this might be a loaded question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And how does this help you process what's happened by shining a light into what has happened by doing all this?
Yeah, so I mean, it allows me to, the more I talk about it, the more comfortable I get with it. The more I feel like I can heal from the inside out. And I also feel like it allows others to be inspired to do the same. There's so many people that have come up to me since I started telling my story, because I started telling my story in 2022, very softly telling my story, but it allows, other people have told me, like, you've inspired me to speak up and to not allow this to happen to me anymore, and allowed me to tell my story and to say enough is enough. And that's truly, I want that. And I do feel like that's a massive part of people's healing journey, is to be able to speak freely. So for me, it not only allows some healing, but it allows a lot of growth in that capacity too. It allows me to branch out and not feel so scared. And I'm hoping that at the end of this, like, it allows some safety when he gets out of prison too.
I did think about that when he gets out of prison, I hope that there is that.
The Tiffany Hill Act, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I said that too. Like, it's not just for the victims that are happening right now. I mean, it'll provide protection for myself and my daughter and my son, which he's a very volatile human. He's very dangerous. There's not a part of my mind, a part of me that doesn't think he's going to come for me when he gets out, because he will. And in that 26-page paper, made it very clear. Very clear.
He's angry.
Very angry. And he doesn't blame my daughter. He blames me. But if he can't get to me, he'll go after her. So I just want protection as well. I want us to be untouchable when he gets out.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything is possible. I do think it is very possible. It's a scary thing to know that, you know, in 6.5 years, there's a good possibility that I will be back in fight or flight and fighting for my life. But it's a reality that I have to get used to at this point and plan for.
And girl, let me tell you, sitting here, looking directly in your eyes, I know that you are going to be prepared for this.
Oh, yeah. My brothers have made sure of it. Very much so.
And the one thing I have to say, that at the start of our conversation, you were shaking.
Yep.
And now, as we've worked through the last 30 minutes,
it goes away. It does go away. It's just the immediate, like, oh God, here we go again. Let's talk about this, you know?
It's very traumatic.
It's very, very traumatic, because it literally changed my entire life's path on several different scales. Several different scales.
Advocacy.
Yeah.
nonprofit,
Yep.
and you work a lot.
A lot, yes. I keep myself busy, but yeah, I mean, it changed my life on the advocacy part, but like I never expected myself to be in this position. I was that girl that was like, it could never happen to me. I'm too strong of an individual for that to happen. So it's truly changed my entire mindset. And it's allowed me to educate myself on how this stuff happens and rewire your brain, because at that point in time, like your brain chemistry is so messed up. So it's literally changed every aspect of my life.
What is the plan for Nikkita, Edmond? Let's just say
that's a loaded question.
Next 6 months.
The next 6 months, like I'm very much contemplating like quitting my full-time nursing job, which is a very scary thing because I've been doing it for 16 years. I'm contemplating that, but I primarily want to focus on building this foundation and helping more people, because right now my time is very limited. So finding the time to work on the nonprofit and the foundation and to help victims, like I'm doing as much as I can with very little time.
Right.
So I want more time to do that. And then of course to give it a good jump start in June is the whole plan. Like let's get this going. Let's make it happen.
So I think we need to have you back a couple times to talk about the event as it unfolds and as it's here.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to think June 13th of where I would be at, but I'd love to be on site.
Yeah, I'd love that. Somehow. Absolutely. Yeah, so it's not just a motorcycle run. It is a classic car run. It is you drive your everyday vehicle, whatever you want to drive, but we call it a bike run because honestly, like that's where we get the majority of the support to move forward. But I do think, you know, everybody should be invited, and it doesn't matter what you're driving. I want the support to show up and the community to show up to help us because it's not just a little problem. It is a massive problem nationwide. You know, and like the Gabby Petito story was huge for my world because I related so much to that. And I look back and I'm watching their foundation do all these things. And I'm like, I can't wait for that to be me. Like, I can't wait for that to be us. And my daughter is like on cloud 9, ready to step in and help and talk and speak and share her story. Like, she's a little phoenix. She's a little fiery little thing. And I can't wait to see where it goes.
I can tell you're very proud of her.
Oh, very. Yes. Yeah. Very, very proud of her.
All right, folks. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm going to hand the camera back to Nikkita, and I'm going to have her tell you again where you can find her social medias, and we'll have her back for sure. I want to shine a light to her event that's coming up that is very powerful in how she took something so heavy and so dark and is taking that and turning it into something good. I'm telling you, this girl is a powerhouse. Nikkita?
All right, so you can find me on Facebook, Nikkita, Nikkita, last name Edmond, as well as Shine the Light Foundation on Facebook as well. My Instagram is Nikkita2014. You can message me on any of those. I also have a GoFundMe set up. It's under Shine the Light Foundation. If you feel the need to contribute to this, you can do that there. There will be other opportunities as well coming up. But thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. Like, my heart is so happy with this.
Good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you made it. I'm so happy we connected.
Me too.
On the
like
sales
fate.
floor. Right.
Yeah, fate.
Just back in late fall or early fall.
I want to say late fall.
And you shared so much. You were so willing to share.
Yeah.
And that just captured me immediately.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't happen every day.
No, it doesn't.
Share something
so powerful,
so vulnerable.
Yeah. And it is a very, very powerful story. And it's a story that I lived, but I want the awareness to be there because your neighbor, your sister, your mother, your brother could be going through this too, and you'd have no idea.
Right. Again, I want to thank Nikkita for joining us here on Grounds for Discussion. We're filmed at Streetside Studio 7, located inside Deja Blue House of Coffee in downtown Alexandria, Minnesota.